Is the Canadian government going to fall? Are we headed for an election before Christmas? These are questions that are at the forefront for a lot of people. So since a couple weeks ago when NDP leader came out and announced through his social media that he was going to pull the support from the Liberal government and rip up the contract that they had between them, everybody's been wondering, are we headed for an election? Or are the Liberals going to be able to survive till next October? There's many questions that need to be answered here, but in this video, I'm going to go over why I believe the NDP pulled their support from the Liberals and why I believe the Conservatives want to have an election today. So let's get into it. So to start off, I just want to talk about what really happened. So the Liberals have been in power since 2021, actually a lot longer than that, 2015, but in 2021, they won the municipal election where they were not able to accomplish a majority government. So they ended up getting a minority government and ended up striking a deal with the NDP for support. And that deal was supposed to run out till next year, I believe June. But the NDP leader came out and said that he's going to rip up that contract. And I'm just going to play the video here for the reasons that he gave, and we're going to go over it after.
Today, I notified the Prime Minister that I've ripped up the supply and confidence agreement. Canadians are fighting a battle for the future of the middle class. Justin Trudeau has proven again and again he will always cave to corporate greed. The Liberals have let people down. They don't deserve another chance. There is an even bigger battle ahead. The threat of Pierre Poilievre and Conservative cuts from workers, from retirees, from young people, from patients, from families. He will cut in order to give more to big corporations and wealthy CEOs. The fact is, the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people. They cannot be the change. They cannot restore the hope. They cannot stop the Conservatives. But we can. In the next federal election, Canadians will choose between Pierre Poilievre's callous cuts or hope. Hope that when we stand united, we win. The Canada's middle class will once again thrive together. In Canada, we take care of our neighbors. That's who we are. I've embraced that value my whole life. I'm running for Prime Minister because together we can and will stop Conservative cuts. We can deliver relief and restore hope, fix healthcare, build homes you can afford, stop price gouging. It's always impossible until it isn't. It can't be done until someone does it. If we're together, nothing is impossible, and we won't let them tell us it can't be done. Big corporations and wealthy CEOs have had their government. It's the people's time.
So as you heard here, the NDP leader, I believe gave some reasons, but I don't think any of them are valid. I don't think he really talked about what was happening or why he's actually doing this. There's nothing really substantial in this video. He just making certain, keywords, key phrases that everybody uses. He could have really made this video, 4 years ago. He could use this video 2 years later. It would still apply. None of these are really concrete reasons for why he's doing this. I believe it's more strategic move than really the reasons that he gives, because here he just says absolutely nothing. I'm going to go over the reasons why I believe Jagmeet's doing this, and I'm going to have a comment to make on Jagmeet at the end of this video. But I'm just going to go over what came out of Jagmeet ripping up the contract. So as soon as Jagmeet Singh ripped up the contract, the leader of the NDP, people were wondering whether or not we were going to go for an election. It was answered pretty much immediately by the Bloc Québécois. They came out and said that they're not going to vote for a non-confidence vote in the Liberal government or against the Liberal government because they don't really work for the Conservatives, they work for the Canadians. The Conservatives really needed the Bloc because in order to pass a non-confidence vote, they really need the numbers that the Bloc has. If, for example, the NDP supported the non-confidence vote, even the Greens, if they supported the non-confidence vote, both of them, all three of them together, couldn't come up with enough numbers to actually bring down the Liberals. They need the Bloc. So once the Bloc said that they're not going to support it, the motion was pretty much dead at that point. But the question was posed to Jagmeet Singh, the NDP leader, by the Conservatives mostly, asking whether or not he would still support a vote of non-confidence, to which he said no. The Conservatives really made light of this point. They were calling him a phony. They were calling him a fake. The reason why they're doing that is, on one hand, Jagmeet Singh, the NDP leader, is saying that he doesn't believe the Liberal government can do anything. At the same time, he is not supporting bringing him down. If you don't have any confidence in the government, then support the non-confidence vote. Or don't say what you said in the video. Anyways, I'm going to talk about his reasoning later on, why I believe he did it. But for the conservative side, they're seeing, the iron's hot right now and they need to strike. They understand that right now is a time for them to call for an election. And if they can somehow call for an election, this would be a perfect time. So I'm just going to go over some numbers here, guys. This is the CBC poll here. So you can see that the conservatives are leading. They have a 42.8%. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's showing like what percentage of popular vote or popularity they have. I'm just gonna give you another graph here. So currently, by the looks of the CBC poll, the conservatives are projected to get 220 seats. That's almost 50 more than what they need for majority. The liberals are expected to get 60 seats, which is 100 less than what they got last year. So the conservatives are going to get almost 100 more, 111 by projections, and the liberals are going to lose almost 100 seats. That's a huge swing. I mean, any way you put it, that would be a huge swing. And the bloc, I think it's supposed to get 39, projected to get 39. They're currently at 35. They actually could get more because the liberals are losing support everywhere, and that also applies in Quebec. And the NDP is expected to lose 2 more seats. And that's one of the reasons why I believe the conservatives are going for this. I'm just going to show you guys another image here. You can see based on provinces. So like Saskatchewan and Manitoba are presented together here, and the Atlantic Canada provinces are also shown together here. Pretty much in every province except for Quebec, the Conservatives have a pretty solid lead currently. And I believe they're going to win. So they're projected to win in most provinces they're just going to have a majority government by the looks of it if the elections was called today. That's the reason why the conservatives are pushing for it so hard, and that's the reason why they're making fun of the NDP for not following through, for not doing what he said in the video was needed to be done, right? Now I want to talk about Jagmeet Singh and why he, I believe, ripped up the contract. So Jagmeet Singh and liberals are not oblivious. They also see these numbers. They also see that the public support is heavily going towards the conservatives. And Jagmeet is looking at the liberals as a sinking ship, and he wants to jump off. So Jagmeet has a contract with the liberals, and being associated with the running party that's losing popularity by the day is not a good thing. So with a year to go till the elections, Jagmeet is gambling that the conservatives are never going to be able to get enough votes for a motion of non-confidence, that the liberal government is going to survive till the next year. And by then, maybe he will have separated themselves from the liberal government enough that they're not going to be seen as co-conspirators, or if I may use that word, or accomplices in the destruction of Canada, according to some. So right now, topics like immigration, inflation, the economy are really, really at the forefront of people. People are really struggling, and there's a lot of talk about immigration currently. That's really fueling a lot of people's fires, and for that reason, I think the NDP doesn't want to be seen being associated with the ruling party in Canada right now. So that's one of the reasons why I think Jagmeet is doing this, and I think it's a right move for him to do. I think really, you don't really want to be associated with a government that's really losing popularity, like I said, by the day. And as much distance as you can give yourself from this party, I think it's the best. Jagmeet obviously wants to take credit for the things that they were able to get done. I think the dental care and the pharma care, I think he takes great pride in those things. He talks about them all the time. And those are the two things that he brings up when he talks about conservatives coming in and probably taking those off the table. If I'm correct, I don't think the conservatives have ever said that they're going to scrap the dental benefits. That's something that I'm not really completely sure about. But another thing that I want to say is the NDP, the party, needs to reconsider its leadership. The NDP has lost past 2 elections with the current leadership. So with Jagmeet Singh running and being at the helm, lost the last 2 elections. I just want to go over the numbers here. So the last elections, Jagmeet Singh only got 24 seats. And in 2019, he was a party leader and he got 24. 2015, when the NDP was led by Tom Mulcair, they actually won 44 seats. Then Jagmeet came in and he's been losing popularity every single time. And I do not know why the party is not looking for new leadership. I do not know why the party is sticking behind him. I personally don't find Jagmeet to be a very convincing speaker. I don't think he's very charismatic. I just don't think he comes off very intelligent, if I may say that. I know it sounds insulting, but I think he's a smart man. I think he's a lawyer, so he's obviously done more. He has more qualifications than, for example, somebody like myself. To make the point clear here, I just think that the NDP could do better at the leadership, and maybe that could help them in this coming elections, because they are going to lose. If they had somebody who was different at the leadership role, they maybe could do better than how they're doing. The Liberals, on the other hand, are a sinking ship. They are going to sink. They are not going to be saved. Justin Trudeau is not going to get out of the way. There's no way they're going to have the incumbent prime minister step off the ticket when he's won the last 3 elections. So this is really a trap for the Liberals, because there's no win here. Liberals are going to lose. That's just, everybody knows this. They're going to be the opposition party. I think the NDP, if they were to make a change, they could get into the opposition, but that's yet to be seen. I don't think there's any momentum towards it, but I think if they were to consider that, it would be better for them. I don't know how they could find a leader, or I don't know who it would be, because I don't actually know anybody from the NDP other than Jagmeet right now. So maybe they could pull off somebody like Jack Layton, or because that's the leadership role that I remember. That's the person that I remember that ran the NDP last and actually was able to win a considerable amount of votes and was able to become the opposition. And that's what I think the NDP could really hope for at this time. They're hoping to become the opposition party. So my suggestion, guys, change at leadership. It's needed. This is just my opinion. This is what I think is going on. And I'm going to be talking about this a lot. If you liked what you heard, click the like button. And if you want to hear more from me, hit the subscribe button. I'll be providing you guys with in-depth detail of what's going on, according to myself, on all Canadian issues. So stay tuned, guys. I'll see you guys soon.